So here we are once again at Solar Power World 2010, and we're at the Petra Solar booth, and we've got Rick Stubbe sitting here. They have a rather unique, Rick, you've got a rather unique product here. This is a solar panel designed to be mounted on utility poles.
That's correct.
And feed power back directly into the grid.
That's correct.
Now, the only problem in my mind when I first saw these things is why would a utility company pay $1,000 for a 200-watt panel? And as I learned about it, I began to find out why that's cheap. So tell me a little bit about, so this thing has a smart, so basically what you got under here is a smart inverter,
right.
I think.
So what we have is a whole AC module that's, as you said, ties directly into the grid. It's this particular model is a 200-watt solar panel with our smart energy module underneath it here, which is a panel level inverter and other electronics to support telemetry and grid reliability.
So you're monitoring. So you're monitoring voltage, line phase.
Yeah, we monitor line voltage. We have capability to do other monitoring and diagnostic capabilities, and we're adding and changing that all the time and adding to those capabilities.
So you can actually also monitor current, I'm told.
Not at this point in time, but
okay, but soon.
Those kind of things are possible.
So, okay, so you're wired up. So you're using the electronics of the inverter to not only, and you're feeding out 110, 120.
It's feeding out 120. It's actually works to UL 1741. So whatever that voltage spec requires, it will maintain in that grid voltage range automatically.
And then the thing is, this thing is not just it's also a network. It's got a Zigbee, I believe.
That's correct. When the panels go up on multiple poles in an area, they form a mesh network with Zigbee, which is contained in the smart energy module, and that's aggregated back to
a concentrator,
to an access point, which is mounted in the appropriate number of panels to form a good network.
And so you can build a mesh, and then all the panels report into each other, and there's battery carryover. So if the grid fails,
it's actually not battery backed up. They're doing a dying gasp final report.
Oh, okay.
This particular model is not battery backed.
Okay, so but the nice thing is, because of that, and this is all then the telemetry sent back to a NOC.
That's
and
correct.
so you don't have to wait for a pissed off customer to tell you that there's a power outage somewhere.
You can check an outage that way, and you certainly have all the telemetry of all the solar capabilities of each individual panel, and then an aggregate view from that network operations center of all the panels and the whole deployment.
Okay, so the other big value add that I know of, and I'm probably missing something here, is the fact that this allows you to put in solar regardless of where you are and lighten the load on the grid, both because you're pushing less electricity out to a neighborhood, but also because you're doing VAR injection, right?
Again, there are those kind of grid reliability capabilities.
Right.
Those are parameters that are chosen by the utility user.
So you can program this thing, and if it sees the power factor sagging, it'll start at whatever predetermined level. It'll start.
Again, it's a utility selected kind of process.
And that's at the determination. So in other words, you can besides whatever power these things kick out, it will also lighten the load on the grid and stabilize the grid.
Capability to output power and plus or minus 200 VARs up to the capacity of the smart energy module. And go ahead.
Now, one of your associates was saying that to do this kind of monitoring right now normally requires a $10,000 unit. He was talking about the fact that they were trying to do line monitoring in certain places, and they had to deploy a $1,000 unit that didn't generate any power.
That I don't know. I don't know what
the
costs are, but yeah, the point being that you're here when you're deploying solar, essentially you get the smart grid and smart energy module capabilities deployed along with that at the same time for the same cost of deploying the solar.
All right. Well, listen, thank you very much. Rick Stubbe, Petra Solar, I really appreciate your time.
Sure.
And we'll sign off here.